Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I hope that this video finds you well. But we have just discovered a brand new bombshell about Obama, Democrats, and USAID. There is now evidence that Obama said he's taking money out of USA to feed hungry children all over the world, but he used it to start revolutions, riots, and anti-freedom protests, pretty much pushing the Democrat agenda worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, before we continue, a big shout out to the sponsor of today's video. Ladies and gentlemen, that is C60 Evo. They sent me this right here a few weeks ago. It is C60 Evo olive oil, organic extra virgin olive oil with ESS60 extract. I'm more energetic. I sleep better. I feel better. I got this for my in-laws. I got this for my parents, for my wife. Ladies and gentlemen, they have stuff for you, for your pets, for your loved ones to live great, feel great. I mean, all of it. So go to c60evo.com/vtpolitics. Get up to 25% off your next order. Links are down below in the description. Thank you so much. Let's continue. Now, here's what we're going to look at. Huge. Barack Obama was using USAID to pretend to send aid overseas, but was laundering it to train rent a riots instead. Mike Benz, the founder of the Foundation for Freedom Online, recently joined Joe Rogan on his very popular podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, with over 19 million subscribers. Great. The podcast was filmed several weeks ago, but a clip from the discussion is making the rounds this week on social media. During their conversation, Mike Benz shared how Barack Obama was using money to USAID to pretend to send aid overseas. In actuality, Obama was laundering the taxpayer dollar and using it to train rent a mobs instead. This is a huge development, but maybe not so surprising considering how Democrats believe they can do anything they please with other people's money. Mike Benz on the Joe Rogan said this was a scandal during the Obama USAID era. We were running a number of rogue USAID operations in Cuba at the time. I'm simply showing the American people where your tax dollars are going and how these things are structured in order to systematically fool you and fool Congress and to fool the White House. He goes on to say, USAID pumped $1.2 billion in, and we sponsored these activist groups and these civil society organizations to learn how to use Facebook, learn how to use Twitter. They lost that. Learn how to use hashtags, learn how to coordinate street protests so that everyone knows where to go, what street to show up on, and what kind of slogan to know to use in order to create the pro-democracy predicate for it. He talks about how Obama founded a Twitter clone that would be used to push propaganda in Cuba to inspire these protests and overthrow the government. Mike Benz explains how Barack Obama overthrew many governments. Ladies and gentlemen, before I read you that last part, what happened in February 2014 when Obama was president? The democratically elected government of Ukraine was overthrown, and this modern Zelensky, anti-Russia, pro-war government was installed. The puppet government of the Democrat Party. So what they did is they took the exact same thing as Twitter, same user interface, same like and retweet button. Zunzunio is the Cuban slang word for hummingbird. So just, it means it's bird. It was the Twitter bird, the whole thing. But the whole trick about it was you have to make it look like it's coming from the Cubans. So if you're going to do this operation, they started running this in 2010, which right during the Arab Spring. And then right here, there's evidence. They were using USAID funds that were designated to Pakistan. And right here on origins and funding, the word Zunzunio is Cuban slang for a hummingbird call. The origins of Zunzunio result from the USAID allocating millions of dollars that were concealed as humanitarian funds designated for Pakistan. So he brought receipts to the show. I can't play you the clip because then the video will get taken down because it's licensed to Joe Rogan in his podcast. But think about this. We've knew all this stuff, ladies and gentlemen, for years, but now we have receipts. We have whistleblowers, and on top of whistleblowers, we have people coming out telling us who they are. They're just telling the truth, saying your tax dollars were used by your government to topple other governments, to overthrow regimes, to protest, to riot. These people, for now several weeks, out there burning Tesla trucks, protesting, rioting. Who's paying them? Who's paying them? See, ladies and gentlemen, this is why Trump is doing what he's doing. You stop the waste, fraud, and abuse, you cut the head off the snake. It's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm going to stay on top of the story, see how it develops. Hopefully, Trump actually does something to Obama, meaning investigations, indictments, because it's illegal to topple other governments, even if you're the government of the United States. You're not allowed to do that. In the United States and the United Nations charters and international law, it is the will of the people for self-governance. You can't go in and fund a revolution. If a revolution happens, it needs to be organic, it needs to be natural, it needs to have a base from the people that live there. Not like in Ukraine, where everyone that was there got paid with dollars. I wonder where they got so many dollars. Ladies and gentlemen, give the video a thumbs up. God bless you. I'll keep you updated. See you soon.